Okay, I'm going to hop right in this because we are running behind as usual, so I'm going to try to make up some ground here. I'm usually pretty good at this, so let's see what I can do so that hopefully by the time Ike has to go at 12:30, we'll be back on schedule. I'm going to talk about performance notifications. These are extremely important. They are the make or break of your Amazon account. So it's important that you answer them in a timely manner. When you look for a performance notification, there's going to be a little number next to this flag. Now, people say if they don't see a number next to that flag, they don't have any performance notifications. Well, sometimes when you click on that flag, the number might go away. So it's important to know that you can go to performance and then performance notifications to see all of your performance notifications. So I would definitely look through here if you haven't and look for certain claims. Now, sometimes you'll get notifications of potential pricing error or anything like that. Those you don't need to really concern yourself with too much. It's more along the lines of intellectual property rights violations, inauthentic claims, if your account is under review, safety complaints. Any of those, you should stop what you're doing and take care of those right away. If you get a performance notification from Amazon and you have no idea how you're supposed to answer it, email support, but please, please, please send a copy of the message that you receive, because they vary and the things in them that Amazon is asking for vary. So depending on the message that you receive from Amazon, that's the feedback that I'm going to give you on the way that you should handle it and how you should answer it. We've had people who have let these pile up and they get suspended. We have had people who don't answer them the correct way multiple times and they get suspended for that. So we want to try and limit. We don't want you to get to that point where then your account is frozen and you're kind of at the mercy of Amazon to kind of figure out when you'll be able to sell it again. So definitely if you get one of these and you have no idea how to answer it, send us an email. If you receive a message from Amazon, you should be answering it. Even if they tell you no response is needed, just send them a message saying, I have received this message. Thank you for pointing this out. I will address it and handle it in the future. You want to have some kind of answer to Amazon to let them know that you have received their message. So there are a couple of templates in the matrix. I do have more detailed templates that I give out to people if it's necessary, if they send me an email. But if you go to the templates and how-to module, there is a seller performance template. That's what you use for inauthentic claims. There's an intellectual property rights violation template. You can use this for IP claims and trademark claims. Now with an inauthentic claim, the main thing that you're trying to point out is that you purchased it new. You purchased it from an authorized distributor. You sent them in new condition. If you're commingled, you can mention that in there as well. You send in copies of quality receipts, like we talked about yesterday, not nonsense receipts that I also demonstrated yesterday. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that video from that session, I recommend that everybody do so because you may be a culprit of the questionable receipts. So definitely take a look at that and make sure that you're sending them good receipts, because just sending in poor receipts has held up people being able to clear these out and people not being approved for their suspension, just receipts. So you want to make sure that you're submitting the best documentation possible. For intellectual property rights violations, what they're looking for that is that you didn't create the listing, that you wouldn't steal someone's intellectual property, that you got on a listing that already existed on Amazon. Those are some of the items they want you to point out. If you get a message and it's telling you to reach out to the person in the email, I would try and not do that. If you can submit the template and your receipts and handle it that way, because in most cases you don't even need to do that. So I would recommend going through with the template and taking care of it that way. Answering performance notifications is so important. If you don't know how to do it, I cannot stress enough to email us to let us help you. Now, you may have to submit something several times. There have been times where I've given someone something to submit. They submitted it to Amazon. They got rejected. I tell them to send me Amazon's rejection. I tweak whatever needs to be tweaked. Tell them to send that to Amazon. They get rejected again. I have them send me the documentation. I tweak it again, and they send that into Amazon, and it gets cleared. It's happened tons of times. So just because you get rejected once or twice, don't give up. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that unless Amazon gives you some kind of resolution, that performance notification is still open. Meaning, if you submit a performance notification to Amazon and you don't hear anything back at all, don't assume that it has been taken care of. Follow up, submit it again, submit the same exact documentation again until you get some kind of resolution, because that happens to people, and then the performance notifications build up and they get suspended. But Delia's going to say something. Right now, we're waiting like 2 weeks before we do that, right? They don't respond. I would give them about a week. Yeah. I know that they have been a little bit slow recently, just overall. Yeah, you are. You can say that, or you can just submit it again. You don't have to, though, to say that you're submit. Just submit it again. And I would just keep going until you get some kind of resolution. Now, there are instances where you'll need to contact Amazon, but I'm not going to give you the advice on how to do that because I want you to wait. So I don't want you to call Amazon right away and be like, I submitted this template 2 hours ago. I haven't heard back. So I don't want to give you the steps to do that. Contact support, and I'll see if you need to get to that step, because sometimes harassing Amazon will do you more harm than it will good. So I definitely don't recommend sending Amazon a letter every couple of days or calling them every couple of hours, because that's not what you need to do. We actually had a client who is not allowed to call Amazon anymore because they got on the phone with Amazon and lost their mind. So it can happen, and you want to make sure that you are not in that same boat. So make sure that if you get a performance notification, if you don't know how to respond to it, let us know. Now I'm going to talk about buyer messages for a little bit. Buyer messages, sometimes if you get a complaint from a company, you're not following their MAP policy, you don't have a wholesale account with them, any of these varied situations, you can receive a buyer message from that company. In most cases, we mark those as no response needed and mark it as spam. We'll also open a case with Amazon and report it as harassment, because some of these brands, in lieu of trying to brand register, they want to enforce a brand-wide policy by just harassing you with these buyer messages, and then they'll go to an IP claim. So if you report these as harassment, when you go and answer with your IP template and your receipts, and that you've been opening these cases because they've been harassing you, then the IP claim will get dropped. So you want to make sure that you go through all of these steps in order to get this taken care of. Now that's been in the Facebook with them, so you're in trouble now. You're in trouble because we posted it in the Facebook to report those. See? In trouble. Every time. Every time. Yep. You want a history of it. That you've been getting these buyer messages from North Face telling you they're trying to circumnavigate the brand registry process. They're reaching out and harassing you, which is against Amazon's terms of service. You just want to make sure that you make Amazon aware of what's going on and make sure that you use the term harassment. Yep. I would start doing it moving forward. But if they're harassing you on a daily basis, you might want to think about scaling back, because I know that with North Face, it's out of control for everybody. They're driving everybody crazy. Everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Sell them out.
I don't know if you scale back your
We're
did for a bit.
Yeah.
I remember like 6 months ago, they started sending like every day.
Yeah.
And then they started to slow down a bit. We're still getting them once every 2 days, but I don't think that can combine with ultimately we can form out again. But yeah, they never did anything outside of sending messages.
I was waiting for them to.
That's what we're all scared about.
Yeah. Yeah, Wendy.
I'm sorry, I missed the first second. So,
Mhm.
and we had a toy at Christmas time, and I did, I copied Amazon.
Mhm.
I copied Amazon, I'm all like, no, back, I'm like, okay, you know.
I wouldn't respond to it. Don't even respond to it. Mark it as spam, no response needed, and just report it to Amazon. Yep. Yep. Mhm. Yep. Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I took Amazon something, and they were helping me.
Guess why? Yep. Mhm.
I had points up, and I told them,
Yep.
I'm like, you guys have said this.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. I wouldn't even. Don't even engage. Don't even engage. You're welcome. So do you have any questions on performance notifications? Yes. Yep. So send me the original message from Amazon. Send me what you've been sending them. And if you send any attachments like receipts or anything, send me that too. And then their response to you. Send me all of that, and then I'll send you what to send to them. Another thing that you could possibly get is a safety concern. So there is a template down here for safety concerns. So you might have to tweak that, play around with it just a little bit to fit your individual needs. But there is a template for that as well. So you want to make sure that you're answering your performance notifications right away. Amazon is being really suspicious lately with these. We have a couple of people, several people actually, that are suspended just because Amazon has no patience right now. So if you get a performance notification, stop what you're doing and take care of it. If Amazon tells you that something is under review, don't do anything with that ASIN at all. Don't send more into Amazon. Wait until you get clearance. Send them. No, just wait. Send in authentic and receipts. Even if when they tell you that it's under review, just do that to help facilitate saying that this is an authentic product. But don't wait for these performance notifications, which is also important to have your receipts and a digital location so that if you get one anytime, you can answer it. But don't let your performance notifications build up. If you have no idea how to answer them, let us know. We'll be happy to help you. I send things to people all the time to help them answer them. I'd rather have you sending me emails about it than have to make your plan of action after you've been suspended. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. They put that phrasing in them sometimes just to. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm? Yep, they say that all the time. They will. Yep.
I think they don't hazmat under review.
So it depends on what's in there, Eric, because I've seen them a couple of different ways. So sometimes you can send the inauthentic template, your receipts, and then sometimes they'll ask for safety documentation, which, yep, and you can Google that in most cases and just pull up the documentation and send that.
I've seen it twice in the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
They had that under review for clothing.
Yeah, yeah. Are they kids' clothing?
Yeah.
Because so like for Halloween costumes, you know, they're flame retardant. So that's probably why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, one of them was a Darth Vader.
Yeah. Their costume. Yeah.
Pajamas.
Yeah. That's why.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's because your strings and flame retardant and all of those things. So yeah, it is a little gray touchy area. Yeah, I would submit it so you can close out an IP claim can be closed out not in your favor, but it'll be handled. So if you submit the documentation and Amazon tells you you may no longer sell this item and they're not requesting any more information from you, it's settled. So if they sent that to you, then it's taken care of. So do the same thing for that one that you're going to do for the other one. So send me the original, what you sent them, and the last message that they sent you, and then any attachments that you sent them. Battery items those are kind of suspicious. Like not a lot of people get into them because you have to provide additional documentation in order to sell those. So if something has if something has batteries in it, you might want to think about if you want to get involved in that, because sometimes there's more legwork required.